We are here at the 2017 D. Hilton Symposium with Rich Cummins from HAPO. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much.
Good, good. Welcome. And how's the conference going so far?
It's great. Wonderful to be in Houston.
All right. Hey, you are a board director at HAPO Community, and we're talking about CEO and board relationships. And so, thinking about that relationship between the CEO and the board director or board member, what do you see as imperative for a CEO to build that relationship to keep it effective and keeping the ship moving forward, so to speak?
The first thing is to make sure that the board relationship with the CEO is clearly spelled out in some kind of governance policies. I think that's really essential. And then underneath those policies is a tone and a relationship, right? So the relationship depends a lot on communication, and it's got to be not just unidirectional. It's got to be both ways. So the board needs to communicate to the CEO needs to communicate to the board. I think the most important kind of aspect of board-CEO relationship is understanding the red line, or whatever you want to call it, the green line we'll call it, let's say, between stewardship and operations. And it's important for the board to understand that the board speaks with one voice to the CEO, that the board does not engage in any kind of management of the institution, but rather helps to direct the stewardship activities of the organization through the CEO. The board should develop policies to help define the CEO roles and responsibilities so that the board can feel comfortable with that as the CEO goes about his or her direction of the institution and management thereof. But the board should never get involved in the management of the organization. And the board should always speak with one voice to the CEO. Otherwise, when there are either media requests or complaints coming from the institution to a board member, the first thing a board member should do is give that to the board chair so that the board can then properly represent the board as one voice to the CEO in whatever the matter is. But really important.
What do you have any tips or advice out there for your board and your CEO, how you guys work together kind of on a daily or a weekly basis? How do you guys operate? Really, because you guys are a really good, we were talking earlier before the recording, I see great stories about you guys in the media and stuff. So how do you guys work together?
We do have monthly board meetings. We have a mini retreat and a major retreat every year. Oh, okay. All of us travel to a conference or two, throughout the year, and we often do the together. So this happens to be a conference I'm coming to as the solo representative for the institution. But again, it's a lot of conversation. We use email. We talk to each other frequently. All those kinds of things. We try not to create any quorum situations or anything without everybody knowing that that's what's occurring. But I would say just lots and lots of conversation around the issues and being very open and direct with one another. We have a great board and a great relationship between all of the members. Okay,
and you can see credit unions that are really moving forward. You can see that's a key element right there for successful credit unions to keep moving forward.
And we have a great CEO, and our CEO, is very open, very transparent, very interested in our ideas. It's a good, back and forth that makes things happen.
Indeed,
right? And relationship.
Indeed, and transparency. I think there's a big word there. All right, what pitfalls do you believe an incoming CEO should be aware of to avoid?
If you're brand new, coming from the outside, you need to do some sort of cultural survey to find out what the organization is currently, in terms of its climate and employee engagement levels and those kinds of things. In terms of working with the board, I think the only pitfall that could possibly happen is, again, the board not speaking with one voice. That would be a dangerous situation, and if I were a CEO coming in to interview for a position and I felt that the board was discordant along those lines, I probably wouldn't be interested in the job.
Yeah. That would be, gosh, I can imagine. You have all these voices coming at you with different perspectives. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. No, it would be a nightmare for a CEO.
Anything else to wrap up here, Rich?
Oh, thank you very much. And Houston is a lovely town, and I'm really, really glad to see that it's recovering from the hurricane. Yeah.
Good stuff. All right, Rich, thank you so much.
Very much.
Appreciate the time.
Yeah.
Safe travels back to Washington.